Being a woman is not easy. It's never been easy. But I will take, without hesitation, 2019 to be a woman over any other century. Throughout history, when women needed to be heard, they made a lot of noise. They spoke louder to make changes for women. Women I never met fought for me to be treated equally, to have the same rights as men, to vote, to hold the same job as a man. And here we are, it's 2019, and I am almost 50 years old, and it's really hard for me to understand how we've gotten this far without making noise, without being louder about that one thing that makes us physically and biologically different from men. It's never been easy to understand the female body. And because it hasn't been easy, women before you and me received the most barbaric treatments because scientists, doctors, researchers, philosophers, everybody in the medical community knew nothing or very, very little about the hormone fluctuation that we go through in our late 30s or early 40s. 2,500 years ago, the father of medicine made a very brief reference to, we now know it's menopause. He said that menopause indicated the reassimilation of the female body to the male body. I can only try to understand that at a certain age, female body becomes more like a male body, so it's easier to control or manage. I know this was 2,500 years ago, but I think we started going the wrong way 2,500 years ago. 2,400 years ago, Aristotle. I wonder how little time he spent around women, and it must have been a very short time to feel compelled to put in writing an observation that should have been common knowledge to every man. He said that women stopped having their periods at age 40, the other ones stopped at age 50. Up until that age, they could have children. After that age, no more children. Yes, I know it was a good observation, but he was a scientist. He was a thinker. He was a philosopher. He was supposed to be a curious person by nature, and he wasn't curious enough to spend more time with women so he could help pave the path for the next generation of women. There were so many more questions that he should have contemplated. How long does it take for women to stop their periods? What do they go through before their periods actually stop? This is the guy who said we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. It would have been so helpful 2,400 years ago for women if he had repeatedly spent more time with women. Reach excellence, not as an act, but a habit. In the 1800s, we had this guy, a Scottish professor, anatomist, medical author, a surgeon. Up until here, he sounds great. Until you find out that he thought that once the ovaries stopped working properly, it became a condition that compromised the physical and mental integrity of a woman. His plan, his solution for his theory? Remove the ovaries. He performed his first ovariectomy in 1825. That's 194 years ago. If you're not cringing right now, please allow me to help you cringe. Anesthesia was invented on October 16, 1846. 21 years after this guy right here performed his first ovariectomy. He performed 200 of the surgeries and 89 women died. From that era to the 1900s, the same 1900s when some experts believed that a woman's body was not fit to travel at 50 miles per hour. Therefore, they were not allowed to ride a train. They actually believed that a woman's uterus would just fly out of her body if they were inside a train that would go over 50 miles per hour. Yet they had no problem taking a woman to the Looney Tune house to treat what is now linked to be the menopause depression. And they would treat these women by placing leeches on the pubis, labia, and clitoris. So I was curious enough to go online and find videos to see what leeches actually do. And I found this guy. Now, this guy is simply trying for one time how it feels to have your blood sucked by a leech. Not because he was receiving a treatment he didn't ask for a consecutive period of time, just one time, just to see how it feels, to see what happens. If you're curious to see the full video, just go ahead and click on the link that's on the top of the screen. I have to warn you, it's very bloody. I couldn't stomach it. Knowing that this is what they did to women back then, I couldn't get through the video. I am not done. When these doctors didn't think women were responding the way they wanted to, they went on to more drastic treatments. They removed the clitoris altogether. This didn't happen that long ago, and up until recently, menopause was believed to be an illness, a mental illness that could be cured by some very unpleasant treatments. But it could be cured. I wonder, why weren't there any more men saying things like, we should pay attention to this. It seems like it's a lot of women around the same age going through the same thing. Why don't we stop these goofy treatments until we come up with less painful treatments for them? They were making decisions for women when they didn't even know about our two main female hormones. Estrogen was discovered in 1923, 96 years ago. And progesterone was only discovered in 1929. That is 90 years ago. It's not that long ago. As soon as they had the information about estrogen and progesterone in the 1930s, they had an aha moment and they said, this is a deficiency disease. We were so close, and science kept getting it so wrong. In the 1960s, we had Robert A. Wilson. He said things like, menopause is completely preventable. Here we are, it's 2019. It's been a long, unpleasant ride for women. We need to bring awareness to the table. We need to start talking not so much about menopause, but about the years that lead to menopause. We need to start talking about perimenopause. Somehow, it's still not common sense that menopause does not happen overnight. We start producing less and less progesterone and estrogen until we run out of eggs and we close the baby factory. Perimenopause may last up to 10 years, and it is not uncommon to see women go through it for 15 years until they finally reach menopause. During perimenopause, women still get their periods, and yes, they can still get pregnant. This is not menopause. Menopause is 12 consecutive months without a period. It's 2019. You'd be surprised to know how many women don't know what menopause is. 2019, women need to know about perimenopause. It happens to every single woman on the face of the earth. Perimenopause needs to be common knowledge. Perimenopause, it's not an illness. It is not a disease. It is not a deficiency. Perimenopause is a very normal and natural transition in a woman's life. The perimenopause symptoms is a very long list, and it can be a very traumatic experience for a woman going through perimenopause. Some women feel 1, 2, 3, or maybe all of the symptoms on the list. Some of them feel it every couple of months, every month, every week, every day, every hour of the day, for up to 10 or 15 years. So we get hit by any of the symptoms that we're not expecting because we don't know about, because people don't talk about it, because it's still not common knowledge. And we go to a doctor or we get over-the-counter medicine for whatever of the symptoms that we're feeling. And because we don't know what's causing all these symptoms, we ignore the core of what's causing all these symptoms. We're not eating properly, and because we're not getting the nutrition we need, we're not ready to go into perimenopause in our late 30s. We have absolutely no clue how to balance our hormones naturally. We don't exercise. Obesity sets a very rough path for perimenopause, which doesn't get any easier for women going through menopause and then postmenopause. We live in a world where we literally have a pill for everything. And we don't remember that pills, drugs, medicine, those things have side effects. We have not been taught that vitamins, minerals, the right nutrition is what we need so we can go through perimenopause without having it being such a traumatic experience as it is for women, or it has been for women up until my generation. There is a reason Japanese women don't struggle with the perimenopausal symptoms as we do here in the States. They do not eat like us. They naturally keep a plant-based diet very high on phytoestrogen. We don't. They don't take pills, they don't take medicine, they only feed their bodies what they need to get through this stage in our lives. And they don't suffer 10, 15 years like we do here in the States. Only 5% of Japanese women feel some sort of discomfort that comes with perimenopause or menopause. Compare that to the 85% of women who struggle with perimenopause and menopause here in the United States. I have nothing against men, but I think men have had their chance to do the right thing for women. We need more women going through it, or the ones who've successfully made it to the other end, to guide women going through it right now and for the younger generations of women. Not every woman goes through the same thing. Not every woman feels the same symptoms or the same intensity of the symptoms. We all go through it. I say we put an end to this. Share this video with other women. Talk about it with other women. Ask questions, tons of questions. Become familiar with every symptom that comes with perimenopause. Become familiar with every nutrition, with every vitamin or mineral that women need before they get there and after perimenopause. Let's educate one another. Let's grow stronger together. Let's support each other. Let's not waste any more precious years of our lives trying to navigate a rough perimenopause.